What? There's another one of these? Oh boy, are they stretching themselves thin by making a second one, I tell you what. Following the enormous success of the original Friday the 13th, Paramount was more or less obligated to deliver a sequel the following year. Debates went back and forth on whether the sequel would set the stage for an anthology series of unrelated horror films, or if they would continue on with Jason as the killer since, ho, spooky! Who won that argument, you may ask? Well, that's a bad example because that's not technically Jason, but you catch my drift. So from We're Secretly Embarrassed That This Is a Hit Franchise Studios, we have Friday the 13th Part 2. We now go live to Steve Urkel's street.
Came the rain and washed the spider out.
Georgie, down here, Georgie. Why aren't you listening to me? I'm talking to you, Georgie. I'm down here. Look, just look down here.
Jason's gotta soak this up. It's his first vacation outside of Crystal Lake until he eventually goes to Manhattan years later. Hey, it's Adrienne King from the original film. I wonder what she's dreaming about.
No! Cut your hair! Cut it, partner!
Yikes, what a fucking nightmare. In case you forgot the original film, which, again, was only released 1 year prior to this, we'll just sum it all up for you. Good thing she's dreaming about the first film. If she were having the recurring dream about giving a lecture with no clothes on, that might be confusing to the audience. The MPAA must be really inside of her head, because that dream was totally censored from what happened in reality. Wait a minute, that's not the Twin Peaks-ish music. This was that time in the 80s when we could get sued by our dreams not having the proper music rights. As you can see, it's showing nearly everything from the original climax, but personally I think it goes a little too far. Okay, it didn't actually show that. I just like it whenever I see ending credits. This scene is interesting because it implies that Jason learned the name of the woman who killed his mom and tracked her down in a completely different city, proving that even Jason Voorhees occasionally needs help from the white pages.
Hello? Hi, Mom. I know, I'm sorry. I meant to call earlier, but I fell asleep.
No, the music has become its own entity!
I just have to put my life back together, and this is the only way I know how.
Mom, if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna chop your head off and leave it for some poor dumb backwoods hillbilly to make a shrine out of. Alice spends most of her time drawing rejected covers for Stephen King's Firestarter. One interesting footnote, actress Adrienne King only agreed to a much smaller role in this film after the success of the original led to frequent run-ins with a stalker who would eventually break into her apartment, causing her to become scared shitless. So what's her role in the film? She's alone in her apartment, fearing for her life that someone outside is stalking her and is gonna break in. Okay, so at least the part was small, I guess? Maybe it'll have a happy ending. So Jason carried his mom's head from Crystal Lake to Alice's apartment? Well, granted, if I saw someone resembling Jason Voorhees carrying a severed head down the street, I would not fuck with that guy. And thanks to Friday the 13th Part 2, we finally got our follow-up to Dogs. The cat did it all along. Good job taking that off the stove. If there's one thing that Jason hates, it's piping hot tea with no one there to drink it. Whoa, is this setting the tone? There's gonna be explosions out the ass in this film! We thought we'd go ahead and tell you that Adrienne King is in this, even though you won't be seeing her for the rest of the film. Boy, Crystal Lake has grown since the last time we saw it. I hear their Exxon now has a Donkey Kong 3 that not many people are playing.
Hey, Teddy buddy! We just rolled in. Yeah, Sandra's here.
Hi, Ted.
Ooh, Sandra was in School Spirit with Tom Nolan, who was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Jennifer Jason Leigh, who was in The Cut with Kevin Bacon. God damn it, I'm good. And crap, I probably could have used the first film again. Hey, look who's back!
They didn't believe me. You're all doomed. You're all doomed.
Well, maybe if you didn't take a shit in the pantry like last time, they'd start believing you. Or if you just put it like this, hey, anytime someone shows up at this location, they're brutally murdered. Here's some newspaper clippings to support that, okay? Alright, like a normal person. Of course, this time around, with Pamela Voorhees dead, he mainly just warns people about unwanted towing.
Welcome to God's country.
Asshole. Meanwhile, in central Illinois...
We'll probably all get a brownie badge to wear if we survive.
If we survive?
Because it's a slasher film, so the term survive ironically goes both ways. Weird, that's not the sign from the original film. Someone came and created a whole new sign and just left it. Plus, Camp Crystal Lake just doesn't have the same ring to it. Okay, I now call to order this meeting of the Ed Begley Jr. Society. I could make a reference to Mac and me by implying the guy is about to fall off a cliff, but say, Everyone is here as part of a camp counselor training program, which, considering it's already summer, they'll be ready just in time for Halloween!
Being a counselor isn't the gravy summer job everybody thinks it is.
The truth is that half of you will end up with poison ivy or murdered. Funny how he mentions survival and the survivor shows up. Pfft, just another straight-laced, prudish, virginal, conservative slasher movie survivor. Or, wait, she takes her top off, is late for work, and is sleeping with her boss? Well, this movie isn't following the rules. Anyway, you were saying?
Among other things, this is bear country. And contrary to what everybody hears, bears are dangerous.
Okay. Why has Jason never fought a bear? Just throwing that out there. It took Lucio Fulci one movie to put a shark together with a zombie. Hang on, we need to take a slapstick break. Well, this is an odd time in the movie for a blackface gag, don't you think? For those of you arriving at the movie 20 minutes late, they recap everything again.
I don't want to scare anyone. But I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
He was never intended as the killer, but they needed a sequel.
His body was never recovered from the lake after he drowned.
That fills up that plot hole.
The girl who survived that night at Camp Blood, that Friday the 13th, she disappeared 2 months later. No one knows what happened to her.
Well, we do. We just saw it. Why are you telling us this?
Legend has it that Jason saw his mother beheaded that night.
If by legend you mean you. By the way, according to this story, this is 5 years after the first film, which according to part 4, took place in 1979, making this 1984. You just gotta roll with it. If you think too hard about the dates in these films, then Jason X is hardly the first one to be science fiction. Jason is actually the killer from Savage Weekend! Wait a minute, how can that be? Things are actually happening in this film.
What'd you think?
Second act needs more.
We need to have Jason swap bodies with the TV news reporter. Now comes the obligatory scene of youth just being youth.
So there I was, sitting in this fast food joint, thinking to myself, Scott, old boy, what are you gonna do with the rest of your life?
Okay, just because people complain about too much teen sex in these movies doesn't mean you have to replace it with a guy fucking a dog. But there's always room for dancing. No way! Not tonight! No way! Uh-oh, turns out the killer is... Henry Fonda? Well, that's what you get for not taking your own damn advice. Hey, you can get a good night's sleep if you don't dream about the end of Friday the 13th. Ooh, boy, are you fucked. Jason is a cat person. And then he cooked her.
Muffin? Here, girl. Muffin.
Actually, he just gave the dog to a much more mature owner who isn't going to name their pet Muffin. Someone get this off the set. Everyone thinks Jason uses one of these, but he never does. I gotta say, this new Meatballs film is a step up from the Paul Rubens one.
What's green and red and goes 100 miles an hour?
What?
Frog in a blender.
That wasn't funny.
Dear Friday the 13th Part 2, I am deeply offended at your animal cruelty jokes. I own several frogs and lizards, and it horrifies me beyond belief that you have trivialized the idea of them being murdered by a blender. I sincerely,
A couple of the kids decide to go off and visit Camp Blood, which apparently shit out a dead dog, but oh, Sheriff Pusser, you hound!
You're not even gonna reprimand him? No punishment?
Hey, come on, we bumped off Crazy Ralph with barbed wire. He won't be bothering anyone else again. What more do you want from us? Maybe those kids are right. If I sneak into Camp Blood, maybe I too could get some serious underage poon. Ugh, this Camp Crystal Lake is a mess. Someone should really buy it and spend a week fixing up the place. What's the worst that could happen? It's nice that in 5 years someone came along and made it look even shittier than it did in the first film. That's okay. I know what he was looking at. Okay, we're about halfway through this movie. We need to start isolating some of these saps.
Anybody wants a last night on the town, now's your chance. Oh, and by the way, our wanderers have volunteered to stay behind and watch the camp. Isn't that nice of them?
Oh man, you mean we can't go hang out at the Exxon? Oh, what a drag.
Hey, you staying?
Yeah. Nothing spoils a party faster than a drunk in a wheelchair.
You mean the opposite of that happens. Hell roller, hello. Funny how those going off to party and drink themselves silly aren't the ones to die. What? It's like all these movies aren't the same fucking movie. Well, look at it like this. Jason was probably aware that they're all gonna die in a drunk driving accident. Such lovely landscaping. Full moon in the sky, tits on the beach, foreplay.
Don't wear yourself out. You want to wrestle? Come with me.
Oh shit, nude arm wrestling by the fire. I can't wait.
I only want your fingers.
I would say that's what she said, but people who constantly use that phrase should be shot.
What do you want to play for?
Position.
Okay, there's signals, and then there's, hey, look over there! That girl with her legs spread eagle is totally into you! She needs to be more subtle, like the guy who steals the skinny dipper's clothes. Does everyone have to fall for the floor pie gag? Pfft, a knife isn't gonna do. You need something much bigger.
Well, that part of the movie is quite subpar.
Yeah, we could show her death scene, but we thought a performance by Bob and the Country Bunkers would be much better. Nothing like psychoanalyzing Jason Voorhees over a round of heinies.
I mean, what would it be like today? Some kind of out-of-control psychopath? A frightened retard?
Frightened retard would be the appropriate term, yes.
What if there is a Jason?
Oh, bullshit.
And he must be out there right now, crying for a return.
Jason's a legend, Jim.
Honestly, it wouldn't be that hard to believe that Jason is still alive. Hell, I've already seen him kill 4 people, and I'm probably gonna see him kill a hell of a lot more.
Motorcycle accident. Paralyzed my legs.
Is it permanent?
Doctor thinks so. I don't.
The doctors tell me that the only cure is a machete to the face.
What does the winner get?
What does the winner want?
Guess.
The ability to walk, or a kiss. Yeah, that works too. She decides to sexify up this scene by putting on a much heavier sweater and poop brown undies. Hoo-hoo, itchy. While you're searching for more clothes, God is crying about this horrible atrocity you have put on screen. Hey, Vicky, are you out there? I really want to get laid. It's been so long. Look at it like this. Your doctor was right. Fuck this mask. Jason needs something more convenient, like a potato sack. There you go, MPAA. This one's for you. Funny how that scene was trimmed quite heavily to avoid an X rating, but a still shot of the scene appears on the back of the box. Do you hear that? It's too much for paying audiences to see, but perfectly okay for the back of the box that everyone can see. People are getting bumped off left and right at the camp. We should probably head back. We haven't forgotten about you, Vandenberg. You may have survived this film, but Christine is watching. Okay, we get it. Jason probably looks a small fraction like that mask. And when are we gonna see the hockey mask?
Sandra.
What? That's not what Jason looks like. Where's the hockey mask? Ow. According to this chart, Jason should be 7 feet tall, wear a purple suit, and a glow-in-the-dark mask. Did they even play the game before they made this film? By the way, this guy only hung himself because he hates holes in his bed. Woohoo, graphic. Careful now, you're gonna bleed all over that rubber mask they keep showing. Best get rid of these bodies quick. Mom and Dad are home.
These kids smoke better dope than I do.
Priorities, Paul.
Is this a joke?
They wouldn't do anything like this.
Right? When that time of month comes along, it's strictly ass play. Better check the doors to see if anyone is strung up there with arrows.
Oh, there's someone in this fucking room!
Whoop! Quarter in the swear jar, little missy. Shit, why did I leave the room before making a Town That Dreaded Sundown reference? I should be safe in here. Windows bad, windows bad. And somehow Crazy Ralph managed to make the pantry smell worse than when he was in there the first time. It's funny seeing the early days when Jason actually had some feeling in between his legs. I'll give the climax this. At least Jason isn't going around and speaking like a child saying, "Kill her, Jason, kill her." Oh, jeez, lady, there's a killer after you. You can deal with a rat. The fuck? Rat piss? That could only mean one thing. She's under the bed! Ha ha! Face in the rat piss. Take that, asshole. Seriously, don't worry about Jason. If he gets injured, they'll just rush him to the hospital. He'll be fine. Now stab him in the fucking back. With Jason now subdued, she can finally take that tour of Camp Blood without getting stabbed in the head with a hammer. Oops, you picked the losing cabin. Well, it's cool that Jason finally closed his mom's eyes after keeping her head for 5 years. Ginny comes up with the bright idea that so long as you're wearing his mom's sweater, any chick will do.
You've done your job well, and Mommy is pleased. That's a good boy. Now come to Mommy. Come on.
If Betsy Palmer did the first one because she needed a new car, was this one done because she needed new brake pads?
Jason, Mother is talking to you!
Dude, your mom's hot. Oh, right, I'm a moron. My mom's dead. Hey, where the fuck have you been, dipshit? Careful, guys, you're turning that pigsty into a piece of shit. A little quicker, Ginny, if you don't mind. Severing Jason's shoulder, his one weakness. Oh, and Paul, I was right about Jason existing. You owe me $2 and a bottle of Coors. I really should have bet more on that. For those wondering, it keeps going to tie up all the loose ends. First order of business, you are no longer named Muffin. And... Holy jeez, he was John Belushi all along? I kid. The real twist is that Steve Dash became Warrington Gillette once the mask came off, much to Steve Dash's surprise. What happened to Jason, you may ask? Oh, wrong question, my friend.
Paul? Paul? Where's Paul?
Lady, if you want to know where Paul is, ask a couple of fans of the series. They'll debate it for hours. The film ends on a shot of Pamela Voorhees' head because originally the actor playing the head was going to open her eyes before the credits roll. That ending was, however, deemed too stupid by the filmmakers, but that didn't stop the ending of Part 3 from upping that fucking ante. Friday the 13th Part 2 was again a success at the box office, bringing in $21 million against a $1 million budget. But what did critics think? Please. Of all the movies released in 1981, this film was no Chariots of Fire. Roger Ebert called the film a cross between the mad slasher and dead teenager genres, which are typically so unlike each other. He then complained that the film showed at the Virginia Theater in his hometown of Champaign, Illinois. I agree. Only good movies should show at my hometown theater. Things would turn around by the time Part 3 hit theaters, prompting Roger and the rest of the mainstream critics to award the film with 4-star reviews all across the board. I'm only guessing so. I haven't gotten to that film yet, and if you know anything about me, you'd know that I'm an eternal optimist.
Hey!